Visit JewelsOnHampton.com. From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Well, we had a few flakes here and there, very light stuff this morning, maybe a little dusting in spots, but that's moving out. We'll see partly cloudy, breezy, cold conditions this afternoon. The high in the mid to upper 30s, but we're actually upper 30s, and we're only talking about wind chills in the 20s, though, throughout the day. So it's a cold day. Cold again tonight, 20s. The high tomorrow, we're talking 37 degrees and partly cloudy skies. It'll be warmer over the weekend, but it looks like we have a chance for some rain. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you for taking my call. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Every day, something new. No one else is really talking about this.
I'm glad you're fired up about it, too.
Trump's doing the right thing.
You know, there's so many issues.
It's over.
I think you're politically wrong.
Very upset.
I will have to agree with you.
You're one of the sweetest guys in the world for a guy who's so bad on politics.
101.9 and 94.1.
Your platform is like really, really important to us.
St. Louis is number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. This hour of Colombo Company brought to you by Gutter Pros. Water goes where we tell it. Call 314-656-7195 or visit them at gutterpros.com.
Bring joy to the world, it's the thing to do. But the world does not revolve around you. Don't be a jerk. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Happy holidays. Welcome to Colombo Company on News Talk STL.
Hello and welcome to Wednesday afternoon. Busy day here at 101.9 News Talk STL, and a lot going on this afternoon. Colombo and Company here. My name is Tony Colombo, in studio with producer Emily, and we've got some great company for you today. Closest Cabinet at 3 o'clock. We'll have some fun with our buddy Mark Close from KC95, and the sponsor of Closest Cabinet, Weber Chevrolet. Skip Weber will be here also. Before that, in the meantime, we are going to talk to the former mayor of Ferguson in about 30 minutes from now, and in about 10 minutes from now, we're going to talk to Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd, as we are less than a month away from the new legislative session here in the state of Missouri. There's a lot going on, obviously, with preparation, just regular general preparation for the legislative session. Pre-filing has begun. We've already heard a lot of news about various bills being pre-filed. So we're kind of getting an idea of what those first, pieces of news, those first debates, the first maybe actions that could be taken. We're kind of getting an idea of what that is going to look like. And then also, of course, we have the situation with Speaker of the House and the contention there within the Republican Party. Justin Sparks, who's a regular on this show, is running for that position. We will get an update from him tomorrow. Justin joins us on Thursday afternoon, so we'll have a conversation with Justin tomorrow, but we'll also get the latest on all of that, including the race for Speaker and how disruptive it is it, if at all. I don't know if that is a separate from the business of the legislative session, and maybe it doesn't overlap, but it seems like when there's drama in Jeff City, we've learned recently in recent years that when there's drama in Jeff City, it definitely slows things down and is not good for the progress for the citizens of Missouri. So we'll get a full check-in on what's happening as we prepare for the 2025 legislative session from Rodney Boyd in about 10 minutes. Also, can't wait to talk to Mayor Knowles, former mayor of Ferguson. The last time he was on a few weeks ago, he was filling us in on the situation that is still happening in Ferguson. The Ferguson Police Department is still ran by the federal government because of various agreements and deals and the situation all stemming from the Michael Brown incident. So the federal government has been running a local police department for 10 years now, and that is still the case. And not only is that something I think a lot of people don't realize, and I think, something that people need to know about and understand that situation and the possibility of it maybe being addressed by the Trump administration, but also it's back in the news because the federal government recently tried to do the same thing in Memphis, Tennessee, and Memphis basically said, we saw you, federal government, what you did and continue to do in Ferguson, Missouri, so we're not going to go along with the same situation. And this is happening as we speak. So it's this type of interference and this government overreach, in my opinion, is back in the news. And Ferguson is kind of where all of that started. So it's a lot. It's confusing. But if there's one person that can really explain it and make sense of it all and understand what we need to do and what needs to happen to get local control back for local law enforcement, it is James Knowles, the former mayor of Ferguson, who was there throughout that entire process with the Michael Brown situation in Ferguson. So looking forward to talking to Mayor Knowles in just a little bit. All right, before we get into the local news, let's talk about drones. New Jersey lawmaker warns mystery drones may originate from an Iranian mothership and should be shot down. This sounds like a movie. New Jersey Rep. Jeff Van Drew said today that, quote, very qualified and reliable sources believe the mystery drones populating the Garden State skies are originating from an Iranian mothership parked off the U.S. East Coast. Emily, can I ask you? Sorry, don't mean to catch you off guard over there. Have you seen the drone situation at all?
No.
Story? This is a story that I have kind of intentionally not talked about because I just kind of think it's somebody trolling.
Yeah.
Maybe I am not taking it seriously enough.
Yeah.
But these drones are flying over New Jersey. They've been caught. There's been pictures of them. They're big drones. They're described as the size of a dining room table.
That's like a spaceship.
That's a big drone, right? They haven't done anything except fly around and freak people out. Now, I don't like that. I don't like, there's YouTubers, there's content creators that like fly their drones over parks or in the woods or down trails or whatever just to see what they can see. And I don't really like that. I don't like when people are flying drones and they're flying over people's backyards or whatever. So I'm not on the drone person's side on this in any way, but I also am a little bit skeptical that it is a Iranian mothership off the East Coast that's flying these drones over.
I feel like they wouldn't make it over the ocean, right?
And what are they doing? Like, what if they
land.
Just New Jersey? Like, Iran is only interested in New Jersey.
Yeah. So they're taking first.
So here's a little bit more. He says, this is Congressman, New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. He says, quote, here's the real deal. I am on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people, and from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you, Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off the East Coast of the United States of America. Van Drew did not provide the names of sources responsible for the information, citing confidentiality. Oh, well, I don't like that already. Quote, that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward, he said later. He continued, quote, these drones should be shot down, whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran. And I think it very possibly could be. Well, I think it very possibly could be. That's kind of a back down from the.
Seems very possibly, maybe kind of.
Yeah. And that is a lot different than 30 seconds ago when he was saying high sources, qualified sources, responsible sources, mothership off the East Coast. They very possibly could be, continuing the quote, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this. Fox News, this interview happened on Fox News earlier this morning, and Fox News chief national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin asked a Pentagon spokesman, Sabrina Singh, during a briefing today about the congressman's allegations. And the Pentagon spokesperson Singh said there was no truth to those claims at all. Singh from the Pentagon said, quote, there is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States. Democratic New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy posted to X on Thursday of last week, quote, there is no known threat to the public at this time. State officials have said that they are taking the mystery drone sightings seriously. All right, I'm not going to stick up for anybody ever in the Biden administration, even if it is the Pentagon. But I also am very skeptical. Now, we do know that Joe Biden is very capable of not doing anything while our adversaries are flying devices over our country. The Chinese balloon that flew all the way across the nation proved that. However, I also know from talking to experts, tech experts like Mike McCleary, who joins us every Monday, and others over the years, that the United States, especially public surveillance from satellites, we see these satellite pictures where a satellite in space can read your driver's license from somebody standing on. So I just find it difficult to believe that if there was an Iranian mothership parked in the ocean on the east coast of the United States, that we wouldn't be able to see it from our satellites. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. I am very much somebody who has gone down the rabbit hole of past public pranks, where people have taken over a TV signal for a period of time in certain cities, or they've, taken out, or there's been, viral marketing or weird stunts or projects before where people have taken out billboards in a certain area with cryptic messaging that's got people, that get people all worked up, or they drop, or they go around a city and drop zip files, little flash drives around a city, and people find them and they start putting them into computers, and it's got all this cryptic stuff on it, and it creates all this buzz. And I don't know, maybe I'm way off the deep end here when it comes to that stuff, but this feels much more like something like that, like some kind of stunt or prank or marketing thing or whatever, or some, dumb social media stunt.
I think it's probably influencers, or not influencers, but people who just play with.
Right.
The over repeated occurrences is what's a little suspicious.
Right.
But it's probably just more common in that.
But how
area.
do we not know? How are we not following them back where they're going?
Yeah. If we're concerned, somebody should fly their
from the satellites, at least, tracking them. And again, I just maybe I'm giving the Biden administration too much credit. That would be a first ever. But if we're letting an Iranian mothership sit just off the east coast of the United States and launching drones, there's no way we don't know about that. And that would be a new low even for the Biden administration. So I don't know what to make of this. That's the latest. It is starting to get pretty interesting. At first, I kind of rolled my eyes at this story, and now I'm starting to kind of get into it. So we'll continue to keep an eye on it. I'd love to know what you think of this. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts. There's no such thing as too crazy on social media. So if you have any ideas or thoughts, I'd love to hear them on my Twitter at Tony Colombo Talk. Let me know what you think, and it'll be a story that we definitely continue to keep an eye on. All right, we are going to get serious, and we are going to get serious about local issues. The Missouri legislative session is right around the corner, and Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd joins us to give us the latest and what to expect and what is happening as we prepare for that legislative session. Rodney joins us next here on Colombo and Company.
Thanks for taking my call.
News, analysis, opinion.
Radio news junkie. Love every bit about it.
News Talk STL.
Tim Jones here for my favorite St. Louis sports bar and grill experience, the go-to spot of Johnny's Hideout. Johnny's Hideout featuring over 40 big screen TVs to watch all the great games this college and NFL season. Awesome food specials every single day that I absolutely love. Bike nights, classic cars on Wednesdays, live music every weekend, and a fantastic time to visit the gorgeous Sunset Patio. Located just 10 minutes from 270 and Gravois, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. onwards. All the information you need to know at jhideout.com. That's jhideout.com. Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge.
Attention reptile lovers, ready to discover your next scaly friend? Welcome to the Show Me Reptile Shop, your ultimate destination for fascinating reptiles and exotic pets. With 3 convenient locations in Troy, St. Peters, and Springfield. We have an amazing selection of snakes, lizards, turtles, and more. Whether you're a seasoned herpetologist or a curious beginner, we've got the perfect pet waiting for you. Show Me Reptile Shop. Visit us in Troy, St. Peters, or Springfield, and online at showmereptileshow.com.
Hi, Ken Williams here. Looking to transform your outdoor space? Call Don the Nightlight Guy. Since 1989, Outdoor Decor has been illuminating St. Louis homes from landscapes to decks, patios to architectural features. Don does it all. Incandescent to LED, water features, path lighting. Don's got you covered. Mention News Talk STL and get a whopping $250 off any order over $3,000. Don Telgi, the Nightlight Guy at 636-697-2311. 636-697-2311.
This holiday, shine bright with Randy's Jewelry. For over 35 years, we've been making quality affordable. Custom jewelry, engagement rings, Randy's is your full-service jeweler. Stunning diamond studs and pendants. And here's the best part, 100% trade-up guarantee. New pieces added weekly. And we're open Christmas Eve from 10 till 2. Hurry to Main Street in Troy and O'Fallon, Missouri. Or online at randys-jewelry.com. Randy's Jewelry, making quality affordable.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
The future of Syria, Iran and Israel, and the U.S. Waiting to see which way the wind blows.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Now I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello
to friends you know
and everyone you meet.
Yeah, welcome back to Colombo and Company on 119.94.1 News Talk STL. As I mentioned, joining us on the line now is Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd. And Rodney, we are less than a month away from the kickoff of the 2025 Missouri legislative session. Is it starting to, how would you classify this time as far as busy is concerned? Is there a lot of news? Is there a lot going on, or is this the quiet before the storm?
Look, I think it's busy in the sense of bills getting filed, but it's not busy in terms of, the challenge with this time is there are a number of members that have been elected to serve, but they actually don't start to serve until they're sworn in. So this is this awkward time of you've got incumbents who are lame duck and they're not serving, but they still hold the seat. You've got the new people that are going around the state on the freshman tour from the House side, learning the state, the issues up close and personal. So it's an interesting time. Someone had reached out to me about a bill that got filed, and they said we can't understand the bill because it doesn't identify or give us any information on the sponsor. This was yesterday, and I said, look, the sponsor of the bill is a new senator from Jackson County, but she won't be sworn in until January the 13th. So for now, you're not going to see a lot on the official website about the member. So it's busy. It's a transitional period where people are terming out, people are coming in. The new people that are coming in obviously will have the levers of power to pull, but they are waiting for that August moment where they're sworn in and officially take real control of the district. So that's a confluence of business, but there's a lot happening. I mean, everything still right now is dominated by headlines coming out of Washington D.C. in particular, with President Trump's nominees as it impacts Missouri, and so everybody was sort of just buzzing about
that
Donald Trump naming Ed Martin as the OMB chief of staff, which was it's a very significant role, very significant role, because OMB is the agency that sort of weighs in on the fiscal impact of all federal policy, rules, laws, and OMB sort of is this agency that they speak, and everybody says, well, this is the economic impact of this idea. So to see Ed ascend to the heights of chief of staff of that agency is just been pretty interesting and amazing.
So when you say the impact the Trump administration is having on Missouri, you mean from a personnel standpoint?
You're starting to see people from Missouri. I mean, look, Congressman Billy Long. So many people from Missouri. The appointment that Will Schaaf receives. It just seems like Missouri has some significant players in this administration.
So does it also have the Trump administration have a impact on Missouri when it comes to policy? I mean, any more than it would the rest of the country? Is there how much are the two connected, if at all?
They're going to be. I think there's going to be a real connection. When you see the president's policies on immigration, they're going to have a real impact on what you see happening here in Missouri. They already have, but you will. The president's policies on what he wants to do around education, I think, are going to resonate with Missouri. So I think you're going to see a correspondence, is the right word, between policies coming out of D.C. and policy priorities in Missouri. The president's talked a lot about crime, what he wants to see happen on immigration, how he's going to deploy resources. And you're going to see some of that reverberate in Missouri, in Jefferson City in particular, and how things work. Now, obviously, there are things unique to Missouri that have no direct correlation to D.C., and those things will be worked out as well. But no, there's no doubt that, especially when you see, former Congress people that have been around St. Louis in this administration with strong ties back to the state, there's going to be some direct impact and policy correlations between things happening here in Missouri and things happening with the Trump administration. There's no doubt about it.
So I want to talk about the Speaker of the House situation. And maybe it impacts the first question I'm going to ask, but let's save the Speaker of the House stuff for just a minute. You talked about the bills that are being pre-filed by various lawmakers. Can we see any type of sort of story forming from those bills? Like, what are the at least the initial focus of this legislative session going to be? What areas are going to be the first thing on the docket? Is there some consistency, it seemingly from what the lawmakers are targeting right now, or are we talking about it's like a scattered situation across the board?
It's a plurality. Remember, we have a large legislature. We have 114 counties, 163 members in the House, 34 senators. So you see a lot of the bills that get filed, or some are sort of reintroducing things that from last session. A lot of them have a local perspective, right? Policy initiatives around something in Southeast Missouri, Southwest Missouri, Central Missouri. We're not going to see the pattern, you talk about a pattern, emerge really, I think, until you start to see people filing legislation derivative from requests from the incoming governor. Every governor has their own legislative agenda. They, either coordinate that with the legislative bodies or they don't. In the past, they have sometimes been very disjointed. But I think you're going to start to see with this incoming administration some alignment around public safety, education, healthcare, trade, economic development. And that's, I think, and we're all waiting to see where you're going to see a kind of at least pattern of policy initiatives taking shape right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and we'll talk about the speaker's race, if the speaker's position stays the same, you'll see, at least from what I'm being told, some alignment for the first time in a while between House and Senate leadership on some of the governor's priorities. Maybe not all of them, but probably more than maybe 90% or greater. So I think that's when you'll start to see what is the state trying to accomplish on public safety? What is the state trying to accomplish on economic development, workforce training? And I think some of those things are being hashed out as we speak, and you'll see legislation filed to shape a kind of a gubernatorial leadership set of priorities. And then there'll be other things that'll be filed by people that either think that those things don't go far enough or want more variance on whatever the governor and House and Senate leadership sort of roll out as their priorities.
So you mentioned the governor there. That's another interesting point that I wanted to ask you about. This past session, especially, Governor Parson was, a lame duck, sort of on his way out. There was some, complaints internally. We heard different people grumbling from some lawmakers that they didn't think that the governor was as active as engaging as he should have been, and maybe that was because he was a lame duck. I'm not saying that was the case. I'm just saying that was some of the things that we were hearing. Do you think that with Governor Kehoe, a brand new governor just being elected in first legislative session as governor, all those sort of things, do you see the governor being more interactive? I mean, I know he's not part of the session, but obviously being the governor, he's always going to have some kind of influence, some kind of sway with his opinion and his words and actions. Do you think that Governor Kehoe will be a more involved governor, specifically, compared to last legislative session?
I think it's a great question. I think Governor-elect Kehoe, will be probably the most engaged governor in the legislative process than we've seen in maybe 30 years. Part of it is because he, as a former senator, he was politically birthed in the Senate. He never served in the House. He came in. He's been a leader in the Senate. He was the majority leader. And as the lieutenant governor, he has a role that is ceremonial but important. He's the president of the Senate. So he spent the majority of his time in the building, in the Senate, on the dais, calling balls and strikes on a number of policy issues. So I think there's still a lot in his DNA that is legislatively driven. And I think he's watched from his lieutenant governor role what happens when a governor and the legislature don't have a synchronized approach. And I don't think he's wanting to replicate that model.
Yeah.
So, I think you're going to see a governor that'll be a lot more hands-on, trying to make sure that he and the legislature work together with the mandate that they've been handed by the voters of the state to control all levels of government in Jefferson City. So yeah, I think Governor Kehoe is going to be extremely involved, and he's already been. I think he's had probably more interaction with legislators and leaders and folks than most governor-elects. So I don't expect that to dissipate. It will increase, and I think you're going to see him very involved. And I think you're going to hear some of that in his inauguration is January 13th, and I think a week before the presidential. And I think you're going to hear him say these things from the podium. I think he's going to call out that he anticipates being, in many ways, a partner and a collaborator with the legislature. We'll see how all that plays out, but I'm pretty sure that's where he's starting, and that's where he wants his administration to work and move things collectively.
Yeah. Talking to Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd. Got a few minutes left here with Rodney, and we will talk to Missouri State Representative Justin Sparks, who is running for Speaker of the House, at the center of that story. Rodney, from your perspective, how is this? Where are we at on this situation? Is this something that's going to bleed into the legislative session? Is it something that could possibly be distracting or slow things down when we do get the legislative session started? What kind of impact does the speaker race have on this new session? And how long do you foresee, just your gut feeling, like how long do you think that goes until we have a resolution?
Yeah, well, I need to stay tuned in to hear your next guest because he is literally.
He's tomorrow at this time. Tomorrow at this time.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'll be tuning in because I really want to hear Rep. Sparks' perspective.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this before. This is a challenge to a process that has become in the last 10 years a tradition.
Yeah.
Where the majority caucus pre-elects a speaker at the summer meeting. And I really had listened some more, and I've heard Rep. Sparks speak about what triggered him getting involved. What I don't know, because this process is a intra-party process initially, right? So what you have to do if you're going to unseat the speaker-elect is you got to go get people that, in many respects, already voted for this person back in August. You got to get them to flip to you in January. And you've got to have a compelling narrative that they agree with that merits upsetting the apple cart, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only person I think that genuinely knows today, and maybe where that process is Rep. Justin Sparks, because he's the one person that has to go, get in his car, get on the phone, whatever, and go talk to the majority caucus members, those that are coming in as well, and make his case, right? That's what his campaign is about. That's why I really want to hear more from him as to how it's going, because it's not the kind of thing that you really, what I know of Rep. Sparks, he's not a guy that is posting a lot of stuff on social media.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot, and neither are the people that he's talking to. So a lot of it's very, very, it's a controlled dialogue.
Yeah.
And it'll be very compelling to know what kind of response or responses, plurally, he's been getting when he makes his case. And I think if I'm John Patterson, in a world where anything is possible, I'm comfortable that I got the quote unquote what I would call incumbency, tentative incumbency, but I'm not taking anything for granted because you can't. But really, it's going to be very interesting to see and to learn more in the weeks to come, and then we'll know. There's a day in January where the caucus, everybody will meet, and they will have either a ratification vote on the John Patterson seat, or they'll choose a new person. But you have to really sort of really wonder what kind of response Rep. Sparks is getting as he's making his case. And that's an unknown that I don't have an answer to.
Yeah, I can tell you that in just from the times that we have talked to him, and we'll get, like I said, we'll get a full update 24 hours from right now from Justin Sparks. But I can tell you that the response has been large.
Wow.
From my understanding of the conversation that we've had in the past, that he has gotten, I'm not saying that it's good, bad, supportive, non-supportive. I just think it's been a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's been a lot. And I think he expected that. And he'll join us tomorrow. He did post when he made this announcement, a fairly lengthy, 10, 12-minute video kind of explaining why he was doing what he was doing and why he thought that was the right thing. But it is great to get more information from him, and we'll try to get all of those details in our conversation with him tomorrow. So tune in, Rodney, and everybody else.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to be tuning in because I'm eager to learn more about what's happening behind the scenes, because we don't get to veer that into those personal conversations. And I'm sure he'll be guarded with what he tells us, but he'll give us a perspective on how it's going.
Yeah.
And look, either way, I mean, it will, I think, have some, and I don't know the breadth, some impact on session, because, if Rep. Sparks, has a success, let's say he doesn't win, but he has a lot of votes. Well, where do those people go, into the session, right? So this is an interesting process and we're all going to learn it because it's unprecedented. This is the first time I think anything like this has been really tried, and we'll see. But there's a lot more we're going to learn on the day of and in the weeks after, depending on how well and what kind of impact his candidacy yields within the caucus.
Well, we will. I'll have that conversation with Justin Sparks tomorrow and next week. Rodney, you and I can react to that conversation and get up to speed on whatever the latest headlines is at that point, because I think going forward as we get closer and then start this legislative session every week is going to bring some new headlines for us to talk about. And we really appreciate, as always, the insight and information from the Missouri Political Insider, Rodney Boyd. Thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Talk to you very soon. Good stuff there from Rodney Boyd. All right. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to talk to the former mayor of Ferguson, James Knowles, who's been on the show many times. We're going to continue the conversation that we started with James a few weeks ago, the last time he was on, about the ongoing connection between the federal government and the law enforcement, the police department of the city of Ferguson. The federal government still controls the Ferguson Police Department from agreements and fallout and deals that were made after the Michael Brown situation. And it was never supposed to be, it's never supposed to go on for this long, but it has. And I think a lot of people don't realize just how much influence and power and control the federal government has over a local police department. So, and there's another brand new story in the news happening right now about the same situation. The government trying to take over police department in Memphis, Tennessee. So it's back in the news again in the country right now as we speak. So get the latest on all of that, get some information, get some insights on that very important issue from the former mayor of Ferguson, James Knowles, next on Colombo Company.
St. Louis's place to talk.
The American people have further lost faith in our governmental institutions.
People can decide what they want and how they want to live.
News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion.
Looking for an underwater adventure or a scaly new friend? Dive into Tropical World Pets on Watson Road. For 32 years, this family-owned wonderland has been St. Louis's go-to destination for all things aquatic and reptilian. With over 7,000 square feet of aquariums, we're home to the area's largest selection of freshwater fish, including rare cichlids you won't find anywhere else. But that's not all. We've got tarantulas, snakes, and lizards galore. Tropical World Pets, 314-849-4020, or visit twpstl.com.
Creators of the Public Schoolhouse, the premier event venue in Connellville, now present Oak Street Inn and Lounge. Trust me, you're going to need to personally see how this 1862 gem is transformed into a breathtaking destination. And you'll have an unforgettable culinary experience at Oak Street. Make your reservations for dinner or staycation. Oak Street Inn and Lounge.
Hello, fans of the paranormal. I'm Frankie, host of the newest show on News Talk STL, On a Garage. And we'll be discussing everything paranormal, from ghosts, demons, hauntings, and aliens to Skinwalker, Bigfoot, fairies, and the Chupacabra. Every Saturday night between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., me and Jeremy will discuss mysterious events in St. Louis and surrounding areas, including gateway families and unsolved true crimes. That's right. It's all right here exclusively on News Talk STL from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Saturday night.
This hour of Colombo and Company brought to you by Gutter Pros. Water goes where we tell it. Call 314-656-7195 or visit them at gutterpros.com.
Now I got to hear him sing.
We watch the children
Emily said this was a Smashing Pumpkins Christmas song, and I had never heard it, so I had to wait for the vocals.
Yeah, I didn't know they had Christmas
That's
music
Billy
at all.
Corgan, all right. What's the name of the song?
Christmas time. How sad.
Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, all right. Welcome back to Colombo and Company on 119.94.1 News Talk STL. Great conversation there with Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd. Got a lot of great information, great insight from him. And we continue with our next guest, the former mayor of Ferguson, James Knowles, is back on the show with us. James, thanks as always for your time. And there's a lot going on, but there's lot of new headlines, but there's an old story that is still lingering in the St. Louis area that I think a lot of people don't know about, and I for one find to be very fascinating, and that is the situation in Ferguson with the police department still under the control of the federal government ever since the Michael Brown riots in that city when you were mayor there. So appreciate your time and filling us in and updating us on that whole situation today.
Always a pleasure to join you, Tony.
Yeah, thank you so much. So this is a conversation we started a couple weeks ago with Mayor Knowles, and if you could just give us the Cliff Notes, the catch up of where
Sure.
what's happening still in the city of Ferguson and the police department there.
So after the death of Michael Brown and then the subsequent unrest, the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division engaged in a pattern or practice investigation into our police department relating to alleged civil rights abuses. I guess maybe about 6 months after the incident, they actually issued their report stating first that the incident with Darren Wilson and Michael Brown, that there was no violation of civil rights, that the federal investigation mirrored the outcome of the grand jury in St. Louis, but there was a concurrent investigation into the police department's practices in which they alleged the city's police officers engaged in a series of civil rights violations as relates to their policing. This is something that they do just about every time there's a big incident in the city. About 16 months ago, when Tyree Nichols was killed in Memphis during a traffic stop, they moved forward with their pattern of practice investigation into the police department in the city of Memphis, and they just released the report here in the past month. And I think what's astounding is that it's a majority African American police department, it's a majority African American controlled city council, African American mayor, African American police chief. They still came out and said that all of those things aside, this police department still violates civil rights of African Americans disproportionately to anybody else that they encounter. And the federal government now wants to take control of their police department, just like they did the city of Ferguson. But their mayor and police chief, after the election of Donald Trump, said, "We're not having it. We're not signing this. You can sue us."
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously we didn't have an incoming president like Donald Trump when we were going through this. We were under the thumb of Eric
or any
Holder
precedent,
and Barack Obama.
any precedent
Yeah.
to look back on. Memphis can look at Ferguson and see that the federal government doesn't uphold its own promises on the timeline or anything like that. You didn't have any of that. You didn't benefit from any of that type of precedent or information.
We were told there would be a 3-year implementation process, 2 years to live, 2 years subsequent to the 3-year implementation of the decree to show that we remain in compliance and that we would be released. It's going on 10 years this year.
Wow.
The mayor of Memphis cited Ferguson as an issue, stating that, look, this whole thing is going to bankrupt the city. We can't afford to do this. You're going to drive away our police officers. There's nothing good that's going to come out of this. And they even cited what's going on here. We're still under the thumb of the federal government here. It's something that unfortunately we weren't able to remedy under the first Trump administration, mostly because of the issues that he had with his attorney generals. I think with Pam Bondi coming in, I've got a lot of hope that she'll come in and review this case as Jeff Sessions promised he would, 8 years ago now.
And what what you want, what Ferguson wants, and correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, is just for just control of the police department to be returned to Ferguson, correct? Instead of being under.
Yeah, we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this oversight a year. Over the past 10 years, we spent millions.
Wow.
Between legal fees.
Where's that money come from?
And monitoring fees.
Taxes?
I mean, it's tax dollars.
Wow.
It's tax dollars. And, when people talk about we're trying to protect the citizens of Ferguson, well, we're draining the citizens of Ferguson. We're draining, the city's coffers, which pays for good police officers, which pays for our city services. It puts the burden right back on our shoulders. And really, the unfortunate reality is I think we all know that Ferguson was singled out because of this incident occurred in our community. We ended up becoming, for the federal government, they decided to make an example out of
Oh
us.
yeah.
And in reality, there's a lot more to the story that happened in 2014. Those of us in St. Louis know it. You know it. You've been a part of it. You're a North County guy too. So I'm hoping that the Trump administration comes in. I hope there's a precedent set here by Memphis fighting back. I hope the new Attorney General Pam Bondi will look first at the Memphis issue, and then they can look back retrospectively at us, see why they shouldn't do this to Memphis. I think Memphis is willing to do reforms, just like Ferguson has done tremendous amount of reforms. We're not asking to go back on things we've done. We're just saying we shouldn't be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers, on out-of-town quote-unquote experts from the federal government to come here from the East Coast and criticize how we police, how we do our courts, how we do everything in our city government. It's just ridiculous.
Well, and Ferguson's not a big enough.
St. Louis is doing this.
And Ferguson's just not a big enough community to have hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, I don't know who is. I don't know what. I'm not saying any city's big enough for that type of burden, but certainly not Ferguson. And does that tax burden extend past Ferguson into other people in the St. Louis metro area? Or is this something that is just literally bleeding Ferguson dry when it comes to that fund, that
money? It's literally just bleeding Ferguson dry. I mean, you even go back to the report on Ferguson. They make so many accusations against Ferguson about the riots. There were thousands of police officers from agencies all across the Midwest involved in the response to the riots.
Yes.
They put all of that squarely on Ferguson. I mean, in the end, if there's another riot, anybody in St. Louis can do whatever they want, how they want to address unrest. Ferguson has a whole playbook of how we have to do things based on the federal oversight. It's just petty. It was abusive from the federal government to do that solely to Ferguson. It was absolutely something that was meant to single us out because they couldn't get Darren Wilson for what they originally wanted to get him for.
And it was supposed to, and on top of all of that, overreach, control, money, it was also only supposed to last for 5 years. And we've doubled that now. So
absolutely,
they've gone. I mean, why not? When you're making when you're just getting money sent to you from a community in St. Louis, keep the money faucet open. I guess. I don't like anything about this.
I looked at the Memphis report just briefly. It's 72 pages, about the same length as Ferguson's, ironically. And when you go look at the highlights, it's almost like it's wacky Mad Libs or boilerplate, right? They just erased Ferguson and put Memphis all over this.
I bet you they did.
I mean, they say the exact same things about Memphis they claimed about us, from traffic stops to use of force to everything. It's the only thing that's different is, in Ferguson we had a white mayor, white leadership. In this case, you have African American leadership and a majority African American department. Yet still, they seem to be, according to the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, be racist.
Yeah, a white mayor, James Knowles, that was reelected after all of that situation. So the people of Ferguson still thought that you were the man for the job, and the only reason Mayor Knowles is not the mayor there anymore, at least I believe, is because of the term limits. So one more thing. So this is just an unbelievable story that I think very few people really understand or know about. I know I was one of those. But something that I want to continue to keep an eye on and have you keep us updated on, especially once Donald Trump administration takes over, and we'll see if they step in and try to do something with this. Have just a couple minutes left here with the former mayor of Ferguson, James Knowles. I wanted to get your quick thoughts on another local story developing here with Sam Page. I know you worked with Sam Page in your time there as mayor in Ferguson as well. He is trying to appoint a new prosecutor since Wesley Bell is heading off to Congress. The city council is saying, you can appoint an interim. That's according to the bylaws. According to the rules, you can appoint, but the permanent position has to be approved by the city council. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Sam Page is trying to override that council approval and just appoint his person. Is that a fair?
Yeah, that's the word on the street, and that's what's been reported recently. I mean, it's unfortunate that there's unity. It's a good thing that there's unity on the county council. Unfortunately, they're unified against Sam Page, is the only unity you've got. And it's shocking that we couldn't get everybody maybe to work at the county government together and hopefully improve things in the county. We've got a lot of issues at the county level. We still have a systemic structural budget deficit that they're going to be working through. This is just one of many issues where I don't understand. The county executive, while it in St. Louis County is pretty powerful, still requires the collaboration of the county council to achieve a lot of goals, and it just doesn't seem to be there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
When I was president of the municipal league, I had a good relationship with Dr. Page, and worked with him for a time. But seemingly over the last several years, this has devolved in the county level, and I don't see any. I don't see it getting any better.
And your time with him was early in his time as executive.
He had just been appointed actually after Stanger went to prison.
And I feel like it's just gotten. I feel like that was the early days of feeling out what he could truly get away with, and it's been in the subsequent years that we have seen this. And again, we've seen this with so many rules. During the pandemic, it seemed like this happened over and over again. Why have rules if we don't follow them? And Sam Page just seems to continue to bully his way past the guidelines, the rules that are in place for how all things like this are supposed to work. And I don't know. Again, a story that we need to stay on, and somebody needs to hold Sam Page accountable and just either hold up the rules or get rid of the rules.
well, I think County Councilman Mark Harder and Dennis Hancock I think they both have some plans that I'll tell you I'm very much in support of to move towards a professionally managed county government, not with an powerful county executive. I mean, there's a reason why most of the largest, most successful cities and counties in this country are managed by a professional. You hire a professional manager to manage the day-to-day. It's not, it's not a smattering of whoever helped you get elected or whoever you're trying to help because, there were donors or political consultants that need a job, heading up county departments. It is professionally managed counties and cities all across this region or all across this country that, are leaving us in the dust. And we're still back in the early 1900s, acting like it's Chicago with Chicago-style politics, both downtown and now at the county. It seems like,
man, great insight,
that's an issue.
Great information, great insight as always. Really appreciate it. That is the former mayor of Ferguson, James Knowles, and we will get you back on very soon to continue these conversations because this is information that I think not enough people are talking about or know about. James, thanks so much for your time as always, my friend. Talk to you soon.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Tony.
Yeah, back at you, dude. Great stuff there. James Knowles, former mayor of Ferguson. All right, we are going to have a little fun. Lighten the mood a bit. Open up Close's Cabinet. Mark Close from KC95. Skip Weber from Weber Chevrolet. Join us next on Colombo Company.
Wishing, hoping, praying for this.
This is Tony Colombo, and my favorite Capriati sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriati's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Hey, how you doing? Santa Vic here.
And Santa's head, Vic head, here.
And you can win some great prizes with Newstalk STL's St. Louis Conservative Christmas.
You forgot the ho-ho-ho. You forgot the ho-ho-ho.
Oh!
No, ho-ho.
A St. Louis Conservative Christmas. Log on to newstalkstl.com for your chance to win. Brought to you by Woodson Stonefire, Tropical World Pets, El Morelia Supermercado, and Metro Shooting Supplies.
Oh!
With the average funeral bill over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Speak with Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial. Contact Benjamin at memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial, everlasting protection.
Jones and Arms are live from Save On Liquor and Wine at Twin Oaks this Thursday, December 12th. And they're bringing you incredible holiday savings. Wine lovers, buy 3 bottles for 5% off, 6 bottles for 10%. Tequila fans, grab a 750 milliliter bottle lid, save 5%. Join us from 3 to 6 for live tastings and discover new favorites while scoring amazing deals. Save On Liquor and Wine, 1142 Merrimack Station Road, Twin Oaks. Your destination for holiday cheer and unbeatable prices.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Brian Thompson's death. Correspondent Julie Walker reports a Malibu wildfire prompts evacuation orders and warnings for 20,000 people, including Dick Van Dyke and Cher.
In Malibu, California, the Franklin fire growing 39% overnight into Wednesday, forcing thousands of residents to flee, including celebrities like Dick Van Dyke, who's about to turn 99 and says one of his cats ran away in the wildfire. LA County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney says more than 1,500 firefighters are battling the blaze
to establish containment lines and defend structures.
Malibu Mayor Doug Stewart.
Every street that had a loss or was at risk had someone living there that we know personally.
Audio courtesy KABC. Officials say the cause of the fire remains under investigation. I'm Julie Walker.
Also at townhall.com, House Speaker Mike Johnson planning to confer with President-elect Trump this weekend about legislative priorities.
Republicans are weighing whether to kick off President-elect Trump's second term by prioritizing border security or tax cuts. Johnson told reporters Tuesday that he would discuss the topic in depth with Trump before he attends the Army-Navy football game Saturday in the Washington area. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden delivered a speech Tuesday on his own economic legacy.
That's correspondent Bernie Bennett reporting. On Wall Street, stocks finished mixed. The Dow dropped 99 points. The Nasdaq was up 347. More at townhall.com.
Hi, Mom. Ooh, it's so cold out there. Surprise, I brought you something.
Socks. Oh, heat holders original. Wow, this is so soft and cozy.
Heat holder socks are the warmest. I use them for snow sports and around the farm. I also bought a bunch for my new work site. The other guys were so jealous they all bought them. And the best part is the socks come in 3 levels of warmth. Originals, lights, and ultralights.
Oh, Jill can use the ultralights when dog walking. Oh, boy. I know what everyone is getting for gifts this holiday.
Heat holders socks are the warmest, and independent lab tests prove they're 7 times warmer than cotton socks. We use a proprietary 3-stage process, advanced insulating yarn, a long loop thermal pile, and brushed on the inside. This process helps trap warm air closer to your skin longer, keeping your feet warm, comfortable, and dry, making heat holders the softest, warmest, and most comfortable socks guaranteed. We also have hats, gloves, throws, and so much more. Go to heatholders.com. Use the code HEAT to save 15% off your order. Free shipping for orders over $25. Go to heatholders.com.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Winds will calm down after sunset, but the temperature comes down tonight to a cold 21 degrees by Thursday morning. So a chilly start and a chilly day, a high of around 39. Not as windy for our Thursday afternoon. East winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies and staying dry. Friday looks dry, partly to mostly cloudy. A high of 47 as we start to warm up, and we'll get back to a rain chance by Saturday, especially in the morning hours. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
The left, for months now,
One by one,
have been begging for a civil war.
every caller gets their say.
We got to stop and not put these officers in situations where they feel like they have to overreact.
And whether you agree
We have to assume some responsibility because I'm a black man.
or disagree,
I think you're politically wrong.
I do not need athletes to tell me.
you're invited to join the conversation.
Thank you for canceling all your games. Now I get it.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hey, get ready to copy down a phone number that could change your life by this time next year. Jen and Rodney Wallner could put you in a new home. The Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway sells 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. And in fact, they have so many approved home buyers, they can guarantee you an offer. Here is your magic number. 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. That'll put you in contact with Jen and Rodney, and then they will talk to you and figure out what's going to be best for you and the family. and where you want to be in 1 year. The work starts now. And of course, the joy that will come later this year, that's going to be great. Call Jen and Rodney Wallner, 314-810-SOLD.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airwaves for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. You could also reach Doug at 844-6766. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Fox News commentary.
A privileged brat allegedly uses a ghost gun to execute a CEO who came from humble beginnings, and the left cheers the rich brat. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Fringe leftists on the internet don't know who they hate anymore. The suspect accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old kid from a well-to-do family who attended a private and expensive all-boys high school in Maryland. His family reportedly owns a golf course, a radio station, and is one of the most prominent families in Baltimore County. His last previous address was in Honolulu, Hawaii. The man he allegedly killed, Brian Thompson, on the other hand, came from humble beginnings, didn't attend an Ivy League institution, worked his way up in the healthcare industry for 20 years, before becoming the CEO, and by all accounts was a humble and simple guy. But because he worked his way up to being a CEO, the fringe weirdos online find joy in his murder and counted him as a parasite that had it coming. What a joke. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Yes, I listen on my phone.
Download the News Talk STL app.
News Talk STL.
Streaming live on the mobile app.
It is awesome.
And listen anytime.
Love the News Talk STL app.
Anywhere.
Let it build. Let it build. This was a selected opening song for Closest Cabinet. Very dramatic intro. Okay.
Some would say curated.
Stel Pontigas, Stel Babe from Mike Ferguson in the Morning typically picks the opening song for Closest Cabinet. But it's my understanding that one of our guests, who will be with us here in just a moment, actually selected this one. I actually like this. I like the old school Jesus songs, like Saw Three Ships, or like Go Tell It on the Mountain. Yeah. There's a story behind this selection, and we will get that in just a moment as we open up Closest Cabinet here on Colombo and Company. Our buddy Mark Close from KC95 is with us. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing good. And then Skip Weber, I think, is just he's been delayed slightly. So he missed his opening song, but he's got a story behind this one. Where are you? Where do you land on the Christmas song scale, Christmas music scale? Are you Bah Humbug, or are you Captain Christmas?
Oh God, no. I mean, I was back in the day, you know, doing mornings on KCL this year as we get into the holidays, and I'd play Santa Baby, not by Madonna, the original by Eartha Kitt.
Yeah,
we'd play that. We'd play the Chipmunks. We would play, you know, all the Bob Segers and Little Drummer Boy and Santa Claus is coming to town. I love Christmas.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think the Rockers all do a great, job of it. And Skip will tell you the story behind it because that is a Christmas song. And you'll know the artist when he tells you. You'll definitely know the artist. I'll let him tell those.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the artist right now. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure I know it. And like I said, I like those. I like those. I'd say that is like in popularity. Like I Saw Three Ships or Go Tell It on the Mountain. Those type of songs are kind of tier 2, but those are the ones that I dig. You know what I mean?
No, I like those. I like the old time movies. One of my all time favorite Christmas movies is The Bishop's Wife with Cary Grant. They redid it with Denzel and Whitney Houston, and it was brutal. The original is Cary Grant, David Niven, and Loretta Young. And I found it by accident one time, and it's traditional. The other one is Mr. Magoo's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
The music, oh, man, that music on that is just a butt tipper. That's a good one. That one always gets me.
I can't go that far with you. With you. We got Skip on the line. I think Skip Weber is here. Skip, you missed your opening song, but I know you have a story about it.
I know. I was cutting it. I got to tell you, can I tell you a story about that song?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Well, as you know, I love Christmas music. I love it. I love traditional carols, Oh Holy Night, Silent Night, all those. I love the music from the movies and from the Rudolph specials and all that. And I love rock stars versions of stuff too. Some of them are really good.
Yeah.
But this song, I was a big fan of Yes. I still am. Love old Yes. And this is after John Anderson put this album out after they were reborn after the 90125 album, and I was just really into them. Okay, but they released the album at Christmas time, and I didn't really know about it. So I'm in college. I come home from college like in May for the year, and I'm in Streetside Records or wherever, and I see this John Anderson solo album called Three Ships. And I say, that would be great. And I get it. I have no idea. It's Christmas music. So it's the middle of May. I'm opening it up. I can't wait to get it on and listen to it. And then here comes all this Christmas music. But it is great. It's a fantastic Christmas album.
That's a great story. I'm surprised they had it like maybe it was just in the regular section like featured.
Yeah, it wasn't in an end cap. I mean,
yeah, right.
Those were back in the days, and Mark and I talk about this all the time. Those were back in the days when you'd go to the record shop, which doesn't even exist anymore, and you'd spend an hour there looking through stuff, looking through and finding stuff, and because not all the stuff was in the top 40 sellers, so. And you could find hidden gems, and it was just great. And that's just something that today's kids and today's young adults never experience, and I feel sad for them.
I do too. I cannot tell you how much of my formative years, especially when it comes to music, was developed at Vintage Vinyl and on the Loop. The record store. I mean, that was like, that would be a Saturday night. Like when I was in high school and in college. Like, hey, what are you going to do tonight? Oh, we're going to go to the movies. Oh, we're going to go to this party. Oh, we're going to go down to Vintage Vinyl. It wasn't a 15-minute trip to the record store to go in and buy something. It was a 2-hour experience of looking through looking through things and getting an education on music and, just so much.
Yeah. You had stores like I said, the Streetside Records or Peaches or Sound Warehouse in the later years. And those stores, like with Streetside Records that I always went to right now, the building's still there. It's like 5 businesses in them. It used to be one record store. Now there's room for a Qdoba and something else. I mean, there's the 5 things separated in it. That's how big those music stores used to be.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. The movie High Fidelity that came out in 1999, 2000 with Jack Black, all about a music store. I mean, that was like a documentary as far as I was concerned.
Exactly.
I mean, that was like, that is exactly my life experience. And that is something, the loss of record stores is one of the worst things. Like, a lot of good things come from evolution and moving on and online shopping and all of that. But the fact that that record stores aren't really around anymore is just very sad, because that
Could not agree more.
yeah, we learned so much and just got so much music education in places like that. Want to get your guys' thoughts on this crazy story. Mark, I know you're going to have a strong opinion about this. Have you seen the California guy that's trying to claim his lottery ticket winning? Do you know anything about this story?
I do not.
Okay. So a man in California is now suing the state of California because he says that he won a $197 million lottery jackpot. Now, I almost brought this story up last week in this segment, but we didn't get to it because there was an unclaimed ticket for $197 million that was like a day away from expiring last week when we were talking. And I was going to bring it up to you guys, and we didn't get to it. And I'm glad I didn't, because now there's a whole new development. Now there's more to the story. So this guy, this is his claim. This guy in California, his name is, where it is, and I just read it. It's not that important though. This guy in California said he bought a year ago 2 tickets at a gas station in Encino, California, that went on to hit the $395 million jackpot.
Okay.
So his name is Famares. Oh, I'm not even going to try it. We're just going to call him the California guy. In June, he brought one of the tickets in and got $197.5 million for half the jackpot, because there was 2 winning tickets. So like I said, last week, the big story was, hey, there's still half this jackpot out there and this ticket's about to expire. Nobody's claimed it and everything. This guy shows back up at the lottery office the day before it expires, and he says, listen, I actually bought 2 tickets that day, and with the same numbers, and I just lost the other one. So you got to give me the other half of the jackpot.
Sure we do.
Also,
wow.
Yeah. And now, and of course, the state of California and the lottery there is saying, that's not how this works at all.
I believe the legal term for that response is, yeah, right.
Why? And why would you, Mark? Why would you put the same numbers on 2 tickets?
Yes. Yeah. Hello.
You know, because that's why it got split, because there was 2 tickets that had the same numbers on it, and that's why it got split to begin with. Why would you fill it out, put the same numbers on it? That doesn't give you any better odds.
Yeah, it hurts your odds in the long run. Yeah. So, yes. And what's amazing about this, he collected the first, $180 million?
$197.5 million. He already got that. He already got that like almost a year ago, or 6 months ago. This past summer.
Right.
Yeah. And now he's trying to say, actually, I bought the other ticket too.
Wow. Greed knows no bounds. Unbelievable.
I hope he doesn't. You know what? In this world, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up settling with him and giving him some money. I hope they don't. But
I hope he loses part of the 190 original, personally.
You know what? You know what's going to happen? I guarantee this is what's going to happen. And he probably thought this through. He knows he's a shyster with it. But to take this to court is going to cost a certain amount of dollars. And so they're not going to settle for $100 million. They might settle for like $4 million. I mean, they're going to absorb the rest of that money because it didn't get claimed. They'll settle for $4 or $5 million and pay him to go away, so it doesn't go through the court system and drag up all these attorneys' costs. And he'll just get that extra $5 million. I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and I think that is why he's doing it, because he knows that that's how the system works. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. But what a bold move. After already collecting almost $200 million to go, you know what? Yeah. I'm just going to go back in there and tell them that I had both tickets, since nobody else.
No, this reminds me of a story that happened to me.
Oh yeah,
2
tickets.
It's almost exactly the same thing. So I was in Las Vegas when the Blues were playing. We like to go out there and go see the Blues in Vegas, and staying at the MGM Grand, and I bet on the Blues for the game. and the Blues won. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now they owe me like $210 or something like that. The window does, and I lost my slip.
Oh.
And I said, "Oh man," I was up there in line, and I go, "Oh, I lost it." I had placed a couple other bets, like a the Cardinals winning the World Series or whatever. I had 4 or 5 slips. I did it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And the people said, "Well, wait right here." And they go back and they look at the camera.
Oh,
They said, "When did you do it?" I said, "I was right before the game." And they see me there, and they pull up the records, and they said, "Yep, you did. You bet on it. Here's your money."
Wow.
Almost the same thing.
It
as
is.
betting, suing for $197 million. But they did pay me for my loyalty to the Blues there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe this guy. Maybe you should call this guy and tell him how you got away with it.
Pull up the cameras.
Yeah.
Go to the gas station and pull up the cameras.
Yeah.
So you can zoom in on your slip.
Yeah. Did they buy 2 tickets with the same numbers, which doesn't make any sense to begin with? But pretty hilarious. This is Close's Cabinet. We got Skip Weber from Weber Chevrolet on the line, Mark Close from KC95. And there is a list out, all the year-end lists are starting to show up. The first times in 2024, or the most this, the most that in 2024, all those kind of things. I thought this was interesting. I'm just going to read you guys a few of these. This is things that happened for the first time in history in 2024. So, for example, this year, scientists detected water on an asteroid's surface for the first time ever.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool, right? I actually think that's pretty cool. Here's another one that's a little bit stranger. A pig kidney was successfully transplanted into a human. I feel like that should have been bigger news than making it on the end of on some list at the end of the year. Did a pig kidney was successfully transplanted into a human, and we're just now hearing about this? I feel like that's a bigger deal, Skip, than just making it on the list here.
Well, the bad thing is that it happened on the same day as one of Taylor Swift's concerts.
Oh,
so it didn't. It got put onto the back burner. That was the problem.
You know what? It would be something that dumb. You're probably right. Mark, I know this won't impress you because you do this all the time. An extreme marathoner finished running the length of Africa, top to bottom, running around 10,000 miles over the course of 352 days. First time ever done in history and happened in 2024.
I'm happy for him. I couldn't be more time. Apparently this guy's got time to kill. I haven't got 352 days to go running across Africa, but I mean, stamina.
Yeah, he got so dehydrated they had to put a pig kidney into him.
That's right.
It's the same story.
Here's one. Saudi Arabia hosted its first ever swimsuit fashion show. I didn't think that was. I wonder what those swimsuit. I wonder what the definition of swimsuit is.
Yeah. That could be interesting.
I think that is probably not the bikini contest that Mark used to host every week at the bar.
What they don't say is it was all guys. It was all men in this trunk.
Right. One more. Scientists observed an orangutan treating itself with medicinal herbs in the wild. So an orangutan was taking medicine, knowing it was medicine, apparently. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
I think that's
very cool.
Yeah.
Those are cool, man. That's kind of neat.
I know.
I wish I'd have known about that site. That's kind of a neat thing to read.
I know. I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I love these little facts. And again, I'm just a little bit surprised, not about any of the other ones, but that we didn't know that a pig kid. You would have thought that would have made it in. You would have thought that would have broken into the news cycle whenever that happened. It doesn't say the date or anything like that. It just says that the procedure was done for the first time in 2024. I wonder if that guy is still around.
I was going to say, you put that pig kidney in that orangutan, he could be doing open heart surgery within a month. Come on, think about it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. right. Are there any other ones here that we need to? No, that's about it on that list. It's great stuff, though. And you know what? Again, this is the time of year we're going to get more and more of these fun, like end of the year stories coming out, and always a whole lot of fun. We're actually going to cover a lot of that on our New Year's Eve special. Just a little something for the calendars down the line here. We are once again going to have our New Year's Eve variety show during my showtime. So starting at 2:00 on New Year's Eve, kind of get you ready for whatever parties you're doing. And we'll go over a lot of that fun stuff. Going to have some live music that day as well. And it's always a good time. So mark your calendars for that. Margaret, before we wrap things up, as we are getting closer to the end of the year, is the band still going? Is there something to promote as far as you guys are concerned, or do you take a holiday break?
Absolutely. We have got the final gig of the year coming up this Saturday. It'll be gig number 34 for us this year. Man, we were rocking. We were out a lot.
Is that the most ever, you think? The most ever in a year for you guys? Should we add that to the list?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, almost by double. Yeah. So, no, it was a big, big year, and that's even with a couple of rainouts and stuff. But, again, thanks to everybody that's come out to support us, whether it's bars or outdoor festivals or whatever. And I've said there's just nothing better in the world than live rock and roll. Not even necessarily my band, your band, anybody's live rock and roll to me is just the best in the world. So we're going to wrap up the year this coming Saturday at Copper Fire over in Belleville. It's kind of our east side home. We'll be there Saturday from 2 to 5. A couple of things to keep in mind. Toy drive, if you can bring a toy, that would be fabulous. There's going to be a pub crawl going on at the same time. So it is going to be Looney Tunes at this place on Saturday. So get there early. We play 2 to 5, no cover, great food, great drinks. Bring some toys, help the kids out the weekend. That's kind of our close quarters Christmas party get together. So it's going to be a really good time.
That's
really
awesome.
Good.
You guys plan to keep on going with the busy schedule into 2025, or you still feel like you're trucking along?
Yeah, we've got 23 on the books already.
Whoa.
So,
nice.
Yep. So,
great stuff. That's great to hear.
It's all good. Thank you.
Yeah,
all
that's
good.
awesome. That's awesome. Skip, I know you're not going to disagree that there's nothing better than live rock and roll. So,
oh no,
great to hear that.
The best.
Yep. And then Skip, as we wrap up the year, what is the latest with the Weber Automotive Group? I do got to say, and you and I had a quick little text exchange earlier this week, but so you already know that I just in my circle of friends and acquaintances got another Weber Chevrolet success story. A friend of mine purchased a vehicle at the Creve Coeur store this week and had another wonderful experience. So just add it to the list.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, I can't thank you enough, Tony, because I mean, I have a lot of people that I do business with and I know, and, reps from radio stations or other vendors or whatever. And when they're ready and they have a friend, they call me and I'll, hook them up with somebody or to wait on myself. But you have gone the next step where you just know people so well. You don't even talk to me. You know that I'm not the one that does it anyway. Just send them on in.
Yeah, I honestly don't want to bug you with it. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah.
I got to give a big thank you to Brent at the Creve Coeur store. He is my guy. He always, if I have like a sales issue or question or whatever, it's always Brent. And back in service for me, it's Dave. The Creve Coeur store, that's my Weber location, closest one to me. And those guys are just absolutely the best. And they came through again this week, as always.
And I can't thank you enough. I mean, it goes back to the fact that my people, not me. I mean, they do all the work and they keep everybody happy. And we had our the next round of rankings come out with satisfaction on reputation.com, and we're once again 100 points plus ahead of everybody else. All three stores 100 points above everybody else, and I just really, really am proud of those guys. And I read every review, and 90% of them are positive, and the negative ones get taken care of. And it's just really cool. So thanks for the referral. And I didn't even know about it till after they were driving. That was great.
Yeah, that is so
great.
Cool.
But next year's going to be better than this year was even. I mean, everything, all Chevrolet is getting stronger with every all whatever problems and kinks and stuff that were in the system, to keep getting worked out better and better. And I'm really, really excited about the coming year. And, we had a time when we were doing fine, but I didn't really always feel greatest about the customer because there was no rebates on stuff and the market was driving prices up and used cars were hard to come by. And it's back to where it was, where I could say, man, you're not going to have a better deal than this. And
that's fantastic.
See that. And I think our customers already recognize that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's why you are 100 points above everybody else on the reputation score and why Weber Chevrolet has been around for almost 125 years now, which is a number that still just blows my mind every time I hear it. WeberChevrolet.com, best place to go for details on everything happening at all three Weber dealerships. And also, don't forget about Weber Ford out in Granite City as well. Skip Weber, Mark Close, guys, thanks as always for your time this afternoon. Look forward to talking to you again next week. Have a great day.
See you guys. Sounds good, guys. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Great stuff there. All right, rolling on. Before we hand things over to the Tim Jones and Chris Arp show, back into some of the headlines here. Sarah Sanders is calling on Donald Trump and his incoming administration to ban junk food and food stamps. This is a controversy that's been around for a very long time, and I've always been surprised that there hasn't been more action taken in this area. And Governor Huckabee Sanders is pushing for something to be done when Donald Trump takes office in January. We'll catch you up on that story and more next here on Colombo Company.
Christmas Day, our Savior Christ and His Lady on Christmas Day in the morning.
This is 101.9 and 94.1.
Millennial Trump supporter. I listen to it like every day. Like, seriously, you get it.
News Talk STL.
Another cold day out there today, and a great reminder that if you are having a gutter issue at your home or business, or suspect that there could be a gutter issue at your home or business, don't wait. Don't let it turn into something more costly, more damaging down the line, because that's exactly what can happen. And this is a perfect example of it with these cold temperatures, coming our way here in the St. Louis area. We, over the last month or so, talked a whole lot about leaf protection when we were talking to Gutter Pros and Dave Sylvester and his team there at Gutter Pros, because in the fall, obviously, that's a big deal. All these leaves are falling. They're, if you don't have leaf protection, they're clogging up your gutters and all of that. And then here's what we talk about exactly when we talk about how, one problem can lead to another or complicate an issue. If you had that issue and you have clogged gutters now because of the leaves that fell in there and the water's not draining properly and it's trapped in your gutters, now this cold temperature comes around and the water freezes, and that creates a problem and more damage and potentially more cost to you to repair. So this is a perfect example of what we're talking about when we say, don't wait. Take care of a small problem as soon as you can. If you think that there's a problem up there, just call the Gutter Pros. They'll go up, take a look, and it's free. They offer free estimates. So, at least you have that peace of mind. If there is a problem, at least now and they'll present you the options you can go about to address that problem. And then you can make the best decision for your home, your business, your budget going forward from there. And at least you'll have that peace of mind, and it costs you absolutely nothing thanks to the free estimates that they offer at Gutter Pros. So whatever it may be, the leaf protection, the gutter repair, the new gutter installation, siding repair, new siding installation, fascia soffit, they do it all at Gutter Pros. Your all-in-one gutter service team that brings years of experience and quality that's affordable right to your doorstep. And I can validate that personally with my personal experience working with the Gutter Pros at my home. So if you think you have a problem, or you have a problem with your gutters at your home or business, don't wait. Call the Gutter Pros now at 314-656-7195, or learn more and contact them through the website gutterpros.com.
John Beal knows that right after a hailstorm, new roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
This must be Christmas and politics at the same time. I've got some big news for you. Big news. Well, maybe not for you, but maybe some relatives or friends. This is so big, you better stand back. The New York governor is proposing that state's first inflation refund. She wants to send almost $9 million back to New York City families. As the governor said, because of inflation, New York has generated unprecedented revenue through the sales tax. Now we're going to turn that back over to middle-class families. So we're going to be laser focused on putting money back in your pockets. And that starts with sending out checks of up to $500 to families. $500 for each family, depending on what you make. In some cases, you may only get a check for $300. $300 per family in New York City, $500. Is that really going to amount to anything? Now, maybe she wants to play Santa Claus this year in New York City. But right behind her will come the Grinch. And I guess I'll be the first Grinch in line.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
Here's great news. Napoli Kirkwood is now open. So that means fine dining right in the heart of Kirkwood. So you have the original Cafe Napoli in downtown Clayton, Napoli 2, Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, right next door to Napoli C, plus Napoli Brothers Pasta and Pizza in the Chesterfield Valley. All of those locations, and now adding Napoli Kirkwood. What a great place to dine. Napoli Kirkwood, now open.
Are the days of a personal doctor gone? Not at Body of Health Direct Primary Care. I'm Dr. Randy Tobler to share how our design is putting the care back into healthcare. Plain and simple, our members, not insurance companies, get our exclusive focus. That means same or next day appointments, responsive answers to your concerns, and a no-spin, big tool chest approach. It's about time you get serious time devoted to your medical needs. To learn about healthcare the way it ought to be, schedule a discovery call today at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
True story. I was with Jay Ackerman, and a waitress came up and began praising Ackerman Toyota. She was afraid she might need a new car, so she had gone to Ackerman and was told, you don't really need a new car, just new tires. Obviously, tremendously relieved and thanking Jay over and over. Another example where Ackerman Toyota did what's right for her and will for you. AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
Looking for top quality tactical gear and expert advice? Look no further than Discount Tactical, your one-stop shop for all things firearms and self-defense. Located in the heart of Warrenton, we've been serving the community for 3 years with our friendly, professional, and knowledgeable staff. From custom AR builds and silencers to the largest selection of parts, we've got you covered. Self-defense weapons, SBRs, knives, ammo, custom holsters, weapon lights, optics, and body armor. Discount Tactical, online at discounttacticalarmory.com or stop by today and gear up with confidence.
Experience the enchanting holiday spirit of Augusta. From cozy bed and breakfasts to charming wineries, join us for festive celebrations all season long. Don't miss our magical Christmas walk on December 6th and 13th, where you can sip, shop, and stroll through a twinkling winter wonderland. Holiday cheer awaits. Find all events at augusta-chamber.org and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
The mood is right. The spirit's up. We're here tonight.
Welcome back to Colombo Company on 101.994.1 News Talk STL. Great stuff there with Mark Close from KC95 and Skip Weber from Weber Chevrolet. Before that, James Knowles, the former mayor of Ferguson, and Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd. Lots covered a lot of ground this afternoon. If you missed any of it, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform, because we put the show out as a podcast right after we get off the air every day. Best way to make sure that you don't miss anything, subscribe to Colombo Company on your favorite podcast platform. All right, Sarah Sanders is calling on the incoming Trump administration to ban junk food and food stamps, saying, make America healthy again. Arkansas Republican Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has sent a letter to the incoming Trump administration, heads of the health and agricultural departments, calling for the end of junk food as part of the federal food stamp program. The letter read in part, quote, as you know, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, is a $113 billion federal program designed to support low-income families with food assistance. She goes on to say, unfortunately, this nutrition assistance program is undermining the health of millions of Americans on the taxpayers' dime by encouraging families to eat highly processed, unhealthy junk food. In fact, according to Sarah Sanders' letter here, quote, in fact, soda, unhealthy snacks, candy, and dessert account for nearly 23% or $25 billion in all SNAP purchases.
I totally agree, and I think that that'd be great. I mean, if I was using SNAP, I would want healthier foods, right? And I think that like a lot of times the reason that they do that is for the convenience of like the processed foods are
And
easier
a lot of times it's cheaper.
to
And so you can get
yeah.
more. So you can
Yeah,
get
exactly.
more.
It's cheaper. So it's like
So you can get more. with
right.
it, with
But I
your-
mean, if they were to put like, I mean, it's not as good, but it's way healthier for you. And if I were somebody on that program, I would prefer to get like cans of chicken and
Mhm.
canned vegetables and
It's
things
always
like that.
it's a super interesting and super, this is not the first time that this has been debated or talked about. It's going to be something that I want to keep an eye on, because there's like what Emily just said, there's a big case to be made, this, does that really, this program is there so you can eat, so you can feed your family. So what qualifies as that, and should these junk food items be on there? It's going to be an interesting story that we will continue to cover. Emily and I will be back tomorrow at 2. Keep it here. The O'Reilly Report next, then the Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
The spirit's up.
Hi, Sean Long with STL Fenceworks. Our company realized another extraordinary year of great business. I thank God for engineering our success and for this great nation and all the blessings it offers those who persevere and work hard. Second, I want to personally thank the great customers who put their faith in our company to make their home and backyard dreams a vision fulfilled. STL Fenceworks doesn't exist without you, and I'm humbled and grateful for your patronage. I also want to thank all my great employees. You're the backbone of STL Fenceworks. You make my vision a reality. I'm truly honored to work amongst such fine people. Finally, as the year ends, I want to remind everyone to take time to enjoy the season. Embrace your family and friends, count the blessings in your life. Reflect on the important things, and don't forget the true meaning of Christmas, when a baby was born, Jesus, our Savior. On behalf of everyone at STL Fenceworks, have a very Merry Christmas and a blessed and prosperous New Year.
Hey, want to amaze your friends when they visit? They will be impressed when they see your custom-made drapes, blinds, or shutters. Michael Proctor will personally help you pick out the correct colors to truly showcase your home. Then he will actually design and personally install everything. No overhead markup. That's going to save you a lot of money on drapes, blinds, or shutters.
Call for an appointment at your home. Spell Proctor like doctor.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update, sponsored by Tax Network USA, America's #1 choice for tax resolution. Please go to tnusa.com/bill or call 800-245-6000. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It's Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. Here's what's happening today in America. Not backing down. Business optimism up. Mitch McConnell falls, and task force report. That's all coming up. Then Bill's going to be here with your message of the day. But first, the New York Attorney General will continue to pursue a $455 million civil fraud judgment against Donald Trump. The Attorney General, Letitia James, said the fact that just because Donald Trump will now be the president doesn't